to a fire. Let them burn it out. Sell them to the richest buyer. They want to let the world decay. They tell us lies and fade away, fade away. We feel betrayed. We were raised to lose the race. Wake at the back of the pack, kill it anyway. Listen up now, because we're never dropping out. Beat the odds, beat the big house. Our brains are bigger than the doubt. We've been thinking for ourselves, never let the truth fade away. This is bigger than ourselves, we won't let the world burn away, burn away. We feel betrayed. We were raised to lose the race. Wake at the back of the pack, kill it anyway. To blame, haters face the world's mistakes. Wake at the back of the pack, kill it anyway. And we feel betrayed. We were raised to lose the race. Wake at the back of the pack, kill it anyway. To blame, haters face the world's mistakes. Wake at the back of the pack, kill it anyway.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the show. Tonight, it is Friday, November 19th, and we are reviewing the latest episode of Smackdown that we just watched. We're watching AEW Rampage, and we're going to preview WWE Survivor Series going down this Sunday in Brooklyn. Let's get started. What are we waiting for? What are we waiting for? Let's get Johnny in here. What's up, Johnny?
Well, I thought SmackDown started good tonight. Ended all right. A lot of stuff in the middle wasn't that good.
Mm-hmm.
And watching Billy Gunn, Darby Allin. Billy Gunn looks amazing. Like, for his age, incredible.
How old is
Moves
he?
very slow, but I feel like he's 60, isn't he?
No,
or
he's
close
not.
to it. He's close to 60. I mean, you got to think about Billy Gunn's been wrestling for a very long time.
He's 58.
There you go. Like, close enough.
Yeah.
But, I mean, for 58, my goodness, he's probably in the best shape of any 58-year-old.
I like him facing off with Sting. Are they the two oldest members of the active roster of AEW?
I mean, guys that are wrestling, right? When you say that, because I mean, there are older guys, as you know, but
Yeah.
guys that are actually wrestling, yeah,
Yeah.
I guess so.
Tully kind of wrestled at one point, right? But not really.
why you're saying active. So, I mean,
Yeah.
it's not really active.
I'm kind of enjoying this Billy Gunn Darby Allin match. It's been pretty good. Darby always brings it.
Yeah, but, I mean, Billy's still like, before he's slow. I mean, he's doing what he can here, but it's not a fast-paced match, and it doesn't really need to be fast-paced, really, because it's just him kind of one-sided against Darby, and Darby will get his shots here and there, and it makes sense for what it is, but, I mean, you got to understand, Billy's kind of limited what he's doing.
Yeah, but he's playing the big, slow power guy against small Darby, who's getting beat up, which makes sense. It tells a good story for the match. Makes a lot of sense, and I assume Darby will make a comeback at some point and win this match. SmackDown tonight, I thought, was not the best go-home show I've ever seen for a Survivor Series, that's for sure. Had its moments. You liked how it started. You liked the opening segment with the Usos. Of course, a lot of Roman Reigns, Usos, Xavier Woods stuff. Even Big E showed up at the end, which was nice. Good to see Big E on SmackDown to hype the match at Survivor Series with Roman Reigns, the cross-brand WWE Champion versus Universal Champion match. I think he might be the only guy who's come over to another show to promote Survivor Series. I thought maybe...
Didn't it happen on Raw?
When? Who?
Didn't the Usos wrestle on Raw?
Yeah, the Usos did. Yeah, the Usos, I guess. Yeah, I guess they were promoting their match with RK Bro, which I don't know. Not too excited about that. We will get to the Survivor Series card. But we haven't seen a lot of the kind of cross-brand jumping over to Raw to attack people type of thing. I thought we might have a Becky Lynch, Charlotte Flair face-to-face promo, but I guess not. We didn't get that tonight. We got a video package that I thought was excellent. Great stuff. Really good video package. Gets you hyped for the match, but I would have liked to have seen a Charlotte, Becky face-to-face promo. I think that would have been fun at this point in time, but I guess maybe too hot to handle. They don't want to do that because it could get out of hand? I don't know. They are doing the match on Sunday. We did see Charlotte at one point in a backstage segment with Toni Storm. Toni Storm just got added to Team SmackDown for no reason in particular. Aaliyah was removed from the SmackDown team last week for no reason in particular other than Sonya Deville seems to not like her.
Well, because Naomi won, and she was on the team, right? So she won because of Naomi, so it was kind of a way to punish her because it seemed like she was friends with Naomi.
Right. But wasn't somebody else on that team? It was a 6-woman tag, wasn't it? Wasn't it Sasha Banks?
Right, and she kind of gave Sasha some crap, right? Like she had to shake hands and all that.
Shouldn't get removed from the team yet. Anyways, we could get to that. But Toni Storm has been added to the team in place of Aaliyah, and she was talking about that and talking about Charlotte because she had a little confrontation with Charlotte last week, and then Charlotte showed up, and she said that Toni Storm does not deserve a title shot, but she will give her a match. So I guess Toni Storm will beat Charlotte in a non-title match, and then she'll earn a title match at some point down the road. I'm just watching Billy Gunn punch Sting in the face right now. I think Darby won this match, but now there's like a post-match attack, and Sting and Darby are getting laid out by Billy Gunn and his kids. Billy Gunn is standing tall over Sting. He just punched Sting in the face and dropped him. That was fun.
Well, it gives this heel group something, right? Because they just started as a heel group, and this is kind of like their first big match, or one of their big matches, so at least give them something if they're going to lose the match.
Yeah. I liked it. I didn't mind it. Toni Storm, Charlotte Flair, that'll happen down the road, whatever. I don't see Toni Storm taking the title off Charlotte. WWE released a bunch of people yesterday. We can talk about that as well. John Morrison, all of Hit Row, Tegan Knox, among others.
Quite a few releases now, I guess.
Yeah, quite a few. We'll get to that. I want to get to the opening segment of SmackDown here. The Usos with an in-ring promo talking about their match at Survivor Series against Randy and Riddle. Tag team champion versus tag team champion. Usos then introduce their cousin, the tribal chief, Roman Reigns. And Roman and Paul Heyman slowly walk to the ring. There's a throne, a crown, and a cape and a scepter in the ring for Roman because he beat Xavier Woods last week, so now Roman is the king, and he's being crowned. And Heyman goes on and on about how no one deserves to be the king more than Roman, and that the Universal title will never belong to Xavier Woods or Brock Lesnar or Biggie. It will always be Roman's. And Roman is upset because he doesn't think that he needs all this crown stuff. He thinks he doesn't need any of this stuff to be acknowledged, and he tells the crowd to acknowledge him. You like this?
Well, I just like the way Roman is, like the way he's just like. At first, it seemed he's kind of upset with the Usos and Heyman, and then just kind of turned it around a bit. I just like how he's able to take his character in different ways now. It's nice to see like Roman, like it's not the same thing all the time.
It's not?
Well, he's not always upset with people. You don't
What?
see that, and then he's able to turn
He's
it around
always
like
mad
that.
at his guys. He's always like, oh, you guys are letting me down. He's always upset at Heyman or the Usos for disappointing him in some way, shape, or form. That's been the angle for like months. Have you not been watching the show?
No, like they have to disappoint him during the show now. I mean, it's evolved. Like they've actually, proved themselves to him, but now they kind of let him down again. It has to happen during the show now for that to happen, and it happened during the show.
I don't follow what you're saying. It always happened during the show. When was it happening before?
No, before he'd just be like, "Oh, Jimmy, like you let me down," but it was just Jimmy never acknowledged him. That was the problem.
Uh-huh.
Once he acknowledged him and became a tag team champion, then everything was fine.
Yeah, but when they lost matches, he was like they were letting him down, and he was disappointed.
Yeah, that was either during the show or it happened like in the main event of the last show.
During the show. Isn't that what you're talking about? Huh?
Yeah, that's a new thing. Before it was like he was just mad before just period. But now there's a reason during the show.
I don't know what the hell you're talking about. I really don't. I don't understand what you're saying.
They were mad because, or he was mad because of what they did with the whole setup, which happened during the show.
During the show. Yeah, but he's always mad at stuff that they do on the show. What the hell are you talking about?
Before he was just mad, just period, because he was never acknowledged by Jimmy. Or
No,
Jay.
no. He was mad about other things. He was upset with Heyman. He'd always get upset with Heyman and then change his mind. Hey, wise man, how do you know Brock Lesnar is showing up here? And Heyman's like, oh, I don't know. And then he's like, oh, okay. He was getting upset with Heyman. Similar deal tonight. It's all the same, John. What the hell are you talking about? Don't try to make excuses and make it seem different. It's just the same variations of the same thing happening over and over again. Roman's guys do something that they think Roman will like, and then Roman is disappointed about it for one reason or another. And here he's mad because they gave him a crown and he doesn't need the crown to be the guy or whatever. And then Xavier Woods shows up and he is like, I challenge you to stand alone in the ring with me without the Wet Bandits over there, which I thought was a funny reference. You get that? The Wet Bandits? You know what that is?
It's some sort of movie. I forget the movie, though.
The Home Alone. What do you mean? What?
Right, there you go. Okay.
There were the Wet Bandits.
Time ago.
It's on every Christmas, all the time.
And I don't really watch it every
year. You don't
year.
watch it every year? What are you talking about? What's the matter with you?
No.
You don't know Home Alone inside and out? I know that movie. I like the Wet Bandits. Everybody knows about the Wet Bandits or the Sticky Bandits, also known as the Sticky Bandits. That was in Home Alone 2, I think they were the Sticky Bandits. First one, they were the Wet Bandits because they would flood all the apartments that they would cat burgle, which seems really stupid. But, Marv and Harry, total idiots. total morons. I mean, they got completely outsmarted by a child twice in 2 different cities, Chicago and New York.
You can tell me the history of all the Home Alones? Because
How
I
do you
only
not
ever
know
watched
this?
the first 2.
How do you not know this? I only know
I think I only
the
watched
first
both
2.
of them once.
You only watch both Home Alones once. That's shocking. I've seen those movies countless times. And I'm Jewish. It's a Christmas movie.
Yeah, but you celebrate Christmas too?
Yeah, a bit, because, other people.
Well, you can enjoy WWE Christmas movies. I'm sure they have a bunch.
Let me know in the
if you
chat.
watch WWE.
I see Silent by Deadly. I see Ryan Katz. I see Brian Firth. I see Alex Tarras. I see Doug Hepburn. I see Lorne. Have you guys seen Home Alone multiple times? I feel like you guys have seen Home Alone multiple times. Who hasn't seen Home Alone multiple times? We're not talking movies.
Answer.
We're not talking about the movie. I'm just saying he made a reference to the Wet Bandits. And I guess Johnny didn't get the reference. Maybe Silent by Deadly didn't get the reference either. Roman Reigns walks up, and he's like walking on Xavier Woods' cape, and Woods is like, oh, I'm walking on my cape. And Reigns is like, see, this doesn't mean anything to me. Does this mean something to you? And Woods is like, no, it's fine. And then Jey Uso breaks the scepter, and Roman is like, huh? Aren't you mad? Don't you want to come in here and attack us 3-on-1? Huh, Woods? Do you? And Woods is like, no, I'm not going to do it, even though you're breaking all my cool shit that I won for winning King of the Ring. And then Roman's like, well, if this means nothing to you, then I'm just going to smash up the throne. And then the Usos smash the throne, and Woods is like, I can't believe they're smashing my throne that I just got like for the tournament win. And, WWE could easily make another one of, and it's their property, and it's really just a prop for the TV show. I don't really know why he's acting like, it's family members or members of the New Day. Like, he was acting like Kofi Kingston was getting beat up in that ring. Instead, it was just stuff that he won for winning King of the Ring. And then Roman has the crown, and that was the last straw. Xavier Woods says, no, not the crown that looked like cardboard when Roman finally did step on it. But before Roman can stomp on the crown, Xavier Woods rushed into the ring to get beat up by the Usos because this is a stupid show. And then Roman stomps the crown and makes Xavier Woods watch, like when Randy Orton handcuffed Triple H to the ring ropes and made him watch as he kissed Stephanie on the forehead and then punt kicked her, or maybe punt kicked her and then kissed her on the forehead as she was unconscious, and Triple H had to sit there and watch. Not the same at all. Seeing your wife kicked in the head by an evil Randy Orton, not the same as seeing your paper crown stomped by the head of the table. You thought this was good? This was so dumb. He's acting like his family is getting beat up in the ring when his scepter is broken. His scepter. Let that sink in. What really was the... I am so stupid, Xavier Woods. I am Xavier Woods, and I am a complete moron. Because I will allow my crown... not my crown... Definitely not the crown. I will allow the throne to be smashed. I will allow my scepter to be destroyed. I will even allow you to stomp all over my King of the Ring robe. But if you dare try to step onto my crown, I will rush into the ring and surely take a 3-on-1 beating. That I probably didn't need to take because Big E was backstage the whole fucking time. Can't make sense of that.
Xavier Woods look good.
Made nobody look good. Made nobody look good. Made me feel stupid for watching it. I was watching a grown man freak out about a crown. Oh, my paper King of the Ring crown is going to break it. Oh, no. I'm watching this. I'm watching this on TV. It's terrible. It's awful.
I thought it was funny just watching him get mad about stuff like this. Material things apparently mean a lot to him, so he's got a huge ego, and I guess little things like that mean a lot. So that's what I took from that, and Roman made him look foolish. I'm okay with that.
I guess he did. Because Roman's like, I don't care about this stuff. I don't want this stuff. And Woods is like,
Exactly.
not my stuff. It was stupid. It was really stupid. This Jade Cargill Red Velvet match. Sorry, I'm just watching this Jade Cargill Red Velvet match. You see Red Velvet get like brought outside the ring there by Cargill? That was ugly. What the hell is going on here? This match is getting out of hand real quickly. I don't know.
Not paying attention too much to this, but just with Roman and Xavier, like,
yeah.
I found Xavier, this was really a step back for him. Like, I thought, like, that was a huge thing for him to beat Roman last week, and now this, like, he didn't get really much of a reaction when he came out. He was trying to milk it, and there was, like, dead silence practically. And then to have this go down for him, this was bad. Like, if you're hoping they're going to push Xavier, this was not a good week for him.
Well, I don't know about that. He did wind up standing tall at the end of the show with his buddy Big E.
Did, really.
Yeah, but Xavier was right there with him, helping him take out the Usos. Xavier Woods cuts the in-ring promo at the end of the show, the main event segment, says Roman's afraid to face him one-on-one. This after last week when Woods had him beat, but the Usos caused a disqualification. You know, Woods did beat Roman last week by disqualification. And now Roman won't face him one-on-one. Woods talks about how Roman is afraid. Roman shows up with Paul Heyman. Then Heyman calls out the Usos. So, again, Roman proves that he is afraid. Roman, you know, Xavier Woods may be a total dummy for caring so much about a crown, but Roman is afraid of Xavier Woods. He did show that tonight by having Heyman call out the Usos for backup, but it backfired on Roman Reigns and Paul Heyman as the Usos did show up, but they were tossed on the stage by some unknown man that turned out to be Big E. Big E shows up, and Roman charges at him, and they fight a little bit. Big E takes control, beats up Roman, tosses him into the ring. Big E and Woods put the boots down onto Roman. The Usos wind up coming back into the ring to help Roman, but they take the big ending. Each one takes a big ending from Big E. It was really Big E time, beating up everybody, with Xavier Woods kind of backing him up with some super kicks and a big dive onto the Usos. Woods jumped out onto the ring, or out of the ring onto the Usos, which led to Big E getting distracted, turns around, gets hit with a Superman punch from Roman Reigns. Roman then went for the spear to try to lay out Big E, but Big E countered, picked Roman up into the big ending, but Roman slipped away before Big E could hit his finisher and escaped. Big E and Woods, though, did stand tall in the middle of the ring while Roman and Heyman watched from the ramp. I have no idea where the Usos went. They seem to have disappeared into thin air. Did you notice where the Usos went? After they took the dive from Woods, they completely disappeared. But, you know, whatever.
Yeah, I wasn't really paying attention. That didn't really matter too much. I don't know about you, but the way Heyman was cutting that promo, like, unless they get The Rock, it feels like it might be Roman and Brock at WrestleMania, because they're mentioning, like, oh, who Roman's going to be facing, and, like, Brock was just kind of shoehorned in there a bit, where it's like, oh, don't forget about Brock. So it feels like that's going to be a big deal, and maybe it'll be WrestleMania. Who knows? If they can't get another big opponent, it feels like that's the guy for Roman. That's the next big challenge.
Well, I read somewhere that it was going to be Roman, Brock, Drew triple threat at Mania Night 2. That's the main event.
Okay. I mean, not the greatest. I mean, this is tough for them. I mean, 2 nights, 100,000 fans. Apparently, they've already sold like 75,000.
Wow.
So that's pretty good. And apparently, the expensive tickets too. So that's pretty good. But still, it's still got a long ways to go. So that's good for, like, without a card. But oof, I don't know that main event. Like, you need something else.
Yeah, but the word is that's the big match for Night 2. Roman versus Brock versus Drew in a triple threat. And I think that they are saving Brock, the rematch with Brock, for WrestleMania. And I think that Drew McIntyre is going to be the next big opponent for Roman Reigns. I think Drew and Roman will wrestle for the Universal title either on that New Year's Day pay-per-view, which will be the next pay-per-view after this Survivor Series here coming up Sunday. This is the last pay-per-view for the WWE of 2021. They'll either wrestle then or at the Royal Rumble at the end of January, but I think it'll be Drew versus Roman going forward. Maybe they give Woods a shot at Roman at the Day 1 pay-per-view on January 1st and then give Drew to Roman at the Rumble. But I think they're setting Drew up for a big run here. You notice Jeff Hardy cutting a backstage promo talking about Survivor Series, and he talked about all the great legends that he's been a tag team partner. He's like Cerebral Assassins, Showstoppers. He mentioned a couple like nicknames of some legendary WWE figures that he's teamed with at Survivor Series, and he says, but none of them compare to Drew McIntyre. This guy's on a level all to his own. Like, why is he saying that? He's saying that because they're building up Drew. Drew will probably he'll be on the winning side. I'm predicting Team SmackDown, the men's Team SmackDown, will definitely win. Drew will not lose. They're building Drew McIntyre up for Roman Reigns. It's just an inevitability.
Yeah, it's kind of how I saw this before last week. Like, the women are more likely going to win for Raw, but the men for SmackDown, because it just feels like, Drew, they're not going to beat him. And at that point, it didn't seem like Xavier was going to take a loss. I could see him actually maybe get eliminated now at this point, but yeah, Drew's not going to lose.
No, I think Drew is going to move on and be very strong going forward. He's going to be teaming up with Sheamus at Survivor Series. Sheamus winning a fatal four-way to get the Sami Zayn spot on the team. Sami Zayn lost his spot last week, and Sheamus won it in a four-way against Cesaro, Rick O'Shea, and Jinder Mahal. A brogue kick from Sheamus and a distraction from Ridge Holland. Ridge Holland coming out, who's Sheamus's buddy, number one fan, something. He's a new guy that somehow didn't get cut. So he's helping Sheamus, and Sheamus got added to the Survivor Series team by winning that fatal four-way. Ridge really helping Sheamus, not only helping him leading to the brogue kick, but also helping him escape from the neutralizer when Cesaro had him ready there. So Ridge Holland, very effective for Sheamus.
Well, I don't know about you, the four-way was the best match I've seen tonight so far. I thought that was excellent. Easily the best thing we saw on SmackDown, wrestling-wise.
I liked Sasha and Shotzi.
It got better as it went on, but I thought the beginning wasn't that good.
The four-way was all right, but I would say Sasha and Shotzi was better. I preferred that match. I was impressed with Shotzi.
Again, it got better after the commercial break. I thought early on it just felt like there wasn't a lot of wrestling going on, actually. It just felt them just doing a lot of posing and a lot of just like taunting back and forth. It really felt like it picked up afterwards. Where the four-way, like, you had that huge thing with Ricochet right before the break. Like, it felt like, wow, you really have to get into this. And there was a lot of good back and forth action.
The way Ricochet gets up on one foot to get onto the top rope for the springboard to the dive to the outside, like, what? Have you ever seen anybody else do that? Like, you've seen a lot of wrestling.
Right now, no.
I've seen a lot of wrestling. I don't think I've ever seen anybody do that. To be able to run off the ropes, come back, jump, land on the top rope with one foot, and then land and fly off the top rope and do some crazy dive and land on a bunch of people. Like, it's ridiculous. I've never seen anybody do that. Ricochet is incredible.
Also, just like the hang time that he got, too, and just the way he's able to flawlessly, like, just flip himself in the air. It's just magnificent to see. And just to see in slow-mo, it shows you how even more incredible it is.
Yeah. There's something missing, though, with the rest of it, right? Ricochet? There's something...
I feel like he's getting better, though. I don't know. Like, I think before the problem was that he wasn't really showing much of a character, and it feels like he's slowly developing a character. I don't know what it is yet, And I think that's the whole thing. Like, he's got to really define who is Ricochet right now, besides the high flyer.
Yeah, that's it. To me, he's just a guy who does flips, and he's impressive, but I don't know. Jade Cargill beat Red Velvet. She's advancing in the TBS title tournament. We just saw a graphic for CM Punk versus QT Marshall coming up on Dynamite on Wednesday. Colt Cabana will be wrestling Bryan Danielson. So that's fun. AEW always doing some fun things. Meanwhile, on SmackDown tonight, we had Natalya and Shayna Baszler beating Aaliyah and Naomi with a very fast count. What? My favorite, yeah. Well, at least the match ended very quickly. The referee with a screwjob finish, this time on the side of a heart. Natty was on the winning side of the screwjob finish. The referee with a super fast count. The referee approached Sonya backstage, Sonya Deville, who, of course, is the director of authority here and has a vendetta against Naomi and now apparently Aaliyah for no reason in particular. And she's allowed to have this open vendetta against them, but apparently not so much because she, when the ref showed up and said, "Hey, did I do a good job, Sonya Deville?" Sonya's like, "Who are you? I don't know you, and I certainly don't associate with any crooked referees. Get out of my sight." And the ref's like, all right. So there's that.
Well, it's like I tweeted. It's weird. You're gonna do a screw job right before Survivor Series. It's weird if you do another screw job at Survivor Series when you just did one like a couple hours before. I mean, yeah, most people won't remember this, but still, it's the fact that you just keep doing these things over and over again. Screw job finishes. It's too much.
Did AEW just announce December 15th, Winter is Coming? Is that when Bryan Danielson and Hangman are going to do the match? I saw a graphic for Winter is Coming, and I heard him say something about the world title, but I don't know if the match is going to be then. December 15th? Is that?
I haven't seen December 15th. Right now, I'm on the package right now.
Okay.
They're showing them, like, tussling, as we saw on Dynamite this past Wednesday. But I haven't seen any dates or anything pop up yet. I'll let you know.
Well, they announced Eddie Kingston versus Daniel Garcia is going to take place next Friday on Rampage. Right now, they're doing a promo to hype up the main event. Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus taking on Adam Cole and Bobby Fish. There's Antoinette dropping in, says, "I love Roman, but I'm tired of the same old." Yeah, me too. Me too. It's getting kind of stale. Johnny says it's very fresh. Feels old to me. Feels like the same thing over and over again every week. And that walk to the ring takes forever. Get over it.
Oh, he's easily the best thing on every week. No question about it. Yeah, so Winter's Coming. It'll be in Texas. December 15th, like you said.
Yeah, but I didn't see a graphic showing Bryan versus Hangman, but I heard commentary kind of saying something about the world title. You probably won't hear it because you're not listening, John.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, well, who knows if, like, maybe they're speculating that it could happen there, but who knows? If there's no graphic, I wouldn't
it's not official,
say it's set in stone yet.
But,
yeah.
Anyhow, Sami Zayn backstage with Sonya Deville. Sonya tells him that it was Adam Pearce that was the one who wanted him off Team SmackDown, and she likes Sami Zayn, and she says, Survivor Series, it's the 25th anniversary of The Rock's debut in the WWE, so we're going to do a 25-man battle royal to honor that, and Sami, you get to be in the match. Which, like, what the hell is this? A Dwayne The Rock Johnson Memorial Battle Royal? Why?
So a bunch of guys can be on the show, I guess. I feel like they did this last year too, but it was on the pre-show. And I wouldn't be surprised if it happens again on the pre-show because they had 6 matches, I think, going into the pay-per-view. Usually, like, the odd one, like, is usually not on the show. And it doesn't really matter who wins Raw or SmackDown because if it's not on the main show, it doesn't particularly matter. historically.
You know, you're right. They did an 18-man dual-branded battle royal on the pre-show last year, and The Miz won.
Hopefully he doesn't win again this year.
Yeah, I hope not. Shout out to Antoinette dropping a super chat. Thank you, Antoinette. Appreciate you. You're the super chat leader right now. Don't forget to hit us up on super chat and go to donate.ringsidereport.net as well. You can go to join.ringsidereport.net. If you have not joined, if you are not a member of the team, go to join.ringsidereport.net. What are you waiting for? Become a member. Support the Ringside Report Network.
Get us to 2,000.
Yeah, let's get us. Hit that subscribe button, too. Like the video. Subscribe to the channel. Let's keep this Ringside Report Network moving. Let's go! Let's go. What else do we have here on SmackDown tonight? So, the 25-man Battle Royal, we can talk about that. We'll do the Survivor Series preview here in a minute. Jeff Hardy beats Madcap Moss with a roll-up and a distraction from Drew McIntyre. Madcap then took a Claymore kick from Drew and a Swanton from Jeff. Pretty forgettable shit there. Anything involving Madcap Moss and Happy Corbin, I just, not too good.
Well, it's nice to see Jeff Hardy, though. And Jeff Hardy winning again on television. Like, that's not a bad thing.
With help from Drew McIntyre, and he's beating Madcap Moss. Like, you're beating King Corbin, Happy Corbin, whatever. Corbin's sidekick. Like, come on. If you don't beat him, what's the matter with you? Quit wrestling forever. I mean, not really, but, it's not good. Jeff's got to look good. He's on the Survivor Series team. Madcap Moss is not. So, Jeff's got to win that match. Yeah,
well, I think you and I both agree on this, though you might not admit it. Like, Jeff's not going to survive that Survivor Series team. Like, if anything, he's more than likely the first guy eliminated from his team.
I don't know. I mean, I think the SmackDown team is going to win. So why not? Why couldn't he stay? You think it's just going to be Drew McIntyre at the end? Nobody else?
I'm thinking Drew and Xavier right now. Could be wrong. Maybe they'd actually have Baron survive. I don't think they need to have Baron survive, but they might do it.
I could see Jeff surviving. But yeah, I mean, if anybody's getting eliminated, he's probably getting eliminated. Team SmackDown is Drew McIntyre, Jeff Hardy, King Woods, Happy Corbin, and Sheamus. So, yeah, that does make sense. Sasha Banks and Shotzi, for some reason, are doing a promo backstage in Gorilla right before their match. Why are they allowed to just stand there next to each other before a match?
Well, I think Sonya was there too, right?
I guess. And she tells them after the match that they have to shake hands for the good of the SmackDown team, which still don't understand why Sonya Deville cares about the SmackDown team, because she's also in charge of Raw. So, right? Doesn't make sense. At one point, though, Shotzi had Sasha's arm stuck in the ring steps, and she was kicking it, and I liked that. I enjoyed that. And I saw a question. Rampage is going on right now. Rampage is happening right now. Adam Cole, Bebe, is about to enter the ring for his main event tag team match with Bobby Fish against the Jurassic Express. You didn't like Sasha selling when she was getting kicked in the arm? I thought it was all right.
Well, you could tell. That's nice. You could tell that when she had her hand in there, she was telling Shotzi, grab my other arm, and she was kind of like not selling, and just like she was just trying to make verbal like messages to her, telling her, hey, like do this, and was not really selling whatsoever, like making noises, but that's not really selling on your face when it just looks like you're clearly just talking.
Well, it was weird because the ref was counting them both out at that point, right? And Sasha's stuck in the ring steps. Shotzi roll. It's an 8 count at this point. The ref's counting 1, 2, 3. Gets to 8. Shotzi rolls back into the ring. The announce team immediately say, "Oh, Shotzi broke the count," which she does not. That's not how you break the count. At that point, the ref should keep counting, and Sasha loses by countout. Sasha lost that match by countout at that point, right? Because Shotzi rolls in, but the ref, for some reason, instead of continuing the count, just like is admonishing Shotzi for using the ring steps. And then Shotzi rolls back out of the ring, and then the ref restarts the count. The count only restarts if a wrestler goes in the ring and then goes back out. But he should have counted out Sasha Banks there. That was an error. Right? Do you notice that?
Well, I think what was supposed to happen, or the ref was probably telling her, like, hey, you got to roll back out because the count's so high right now, and yeah, she's getting counted out. So that's probably what the ref probably told her to do. Like, and again, it might be an experience thing where she doesn't realize she has to do the roll in, roll out kind of thing in order to keep it going. Because yeah, like the ref was in a bad spot right there.
I like the match though. I like Sasha Banks. I think Shotzi is not bad. You know, I like Shotzi. I like what I've seen from Shotzi.
Well, she's in a tough spot right here where she's really got to prove herself. Because you've seen with the releases, it feels like anyone can get cut at any time. So it feels like she's really got to stand out right now. And I feel like she's kind of burnt her bridge with AEW a bit, so she really can't let this fail too soon right now.
Why is that? Burnt her bridge with AEW.
You didn't see like she mocked Chris Jericho like on social media? I feel like more than once actually.
Shotzi did?
And I think Jericho even made like, yeah, she's never gonna work here.
Oh yeah? I don't know. I never saw that. But I like her better as this mean heel rather than the goofy punk rock kid in the tank.
I'll agree with you, but it felt like just two jerks wrestling each other. Because, like, isn't Sasha, like, although they book her as a babyface, she still comes off as a heel. Like, that promo felt like completely like a heel.
Yeah, Sasha is not the most
likable
baby. I mean, she's just, her promos are always, you know, the boss and, you know, very braggadocious. So she's not.
You're on my league, rookie. Like,
yeah, that's it.
Just burying them.
Yeah. She does a lot of that type of promo, and it's not very endearing, but, you know, it's Sasha. She's a badass babyface, you know? She beats Shotzi after a modified bank statement there. Almost a go-go plata, kind of a go-go plata, kind of choked Shotzi there. Couldn't use her arm to stretch out Shotzi's face, so she used her foot, her foot there, and it was a nice little submission, and it was because, you know, Sasha was selling her arm. I like that she had to change her finisher to sell an injury sustained in the match. I thought that was a nice little point. And then Sasha and Shotzi had to shake hands after the match because Sonya Deville demanded it, because they're both on Team SmackDown and they have to show unity. So they did shake hands, and then Sasha hits the backstabber on Shotzi after shaking hands, and Sonya Deville standing there on the entrance ramp, and she's mad. And Sasha's like, well, you told me I had to shake her hand. You didn't say I didn't have to, you know, beat her up afterwards. You didn't say anything about that. Plus, you did put us in a match against each other, so, you know, what's up with that? If Sonya really doesn't want them to fight at all, why not, you know, not book the match? How about that?
Well, I think I think she said it last week, it was more of like, okay, you're going to air out your issues in the ring, you're going to vent it all out, and then by Survivor Series, there's no more beef. But, you know, babyface Sasha does the backstabber right after the match is over, after the handshake. Again, like, you know, Sasha, in terms of wrestling, she's great. But, again, the character, like, I'll never believe she's a babyface.
Yeah, it was kind of a heelish move to attack Shotzi after a handshake. Shotzi, you know, shakes hands. She's respectful. Sasha's like, screw you.
And the backstabber, too. I mean, it's the ultimate, like, heel kind of thing to do.
Yeah. Yeah, the move is called the backstabber. So, yeah. What did you think of the Xia Li cartoon that they did?
I guess they changed her character, because I don't feel like that was what her character was before, and now they've just done this now instead, and it's weird. It feels like what they're doing with Aleister Black a bit, except this is not a dark cartoon. This is more of a Well, it was dark, and now it's more of an upbeat kind of motivational comic.
It was a little weird. It told the story of her father who was there for her, and then he died, and then her family had no money, and they were kicked out of their home by an evil landlord, and Gia Lee had to be the protector of the family somehow. Not really sure how, but that was the story. It was a little weird. Isn't Gia Lee? She's Chinese, right?
First ever WWE superstar.
But isn't that yeah? But isn't that kind of style of cartoon more associated with Japan, like the anime style?
I mean,
you know what I mean?
Different types of styles with that, if I'm not mistaken. But I mean, you could be right, but I don't know if it really mattered. It was just more of a story, I don't think it really mattered the design.
Well, I think it kind of does. You're presenting her in this different way that you present anybody. And I feel like the anime style, like I'm not an expert, but I feel like it's primarily done in Japan and it's like a cultural thing, and they're using it to promote a Chinese wrestler, and obviously two very different countries. So I don't know. I don't know if China produces that type of cartoons as well. Maybe they do, but as far as I know, that style cartoon, you see it in, like a Pokemon or a Sailor Moon or those types of cartoons made in Japan, not China.
Well, whatever the
I don't think I'm wrong about this, Sean. I think I'm right. And I think it's a little weird that WWE's like, wow, whatever, same difference, pal.
Well, but I'm just saying, I think they weren't thinking that. They were just thinking, would kids like this? Would kids appeal to this? And I think that was
Bullshit.
The idea.
If she's not Asian, they're not presenting her like this.
Again, I don't think that was the thought process. They're just trying to think of a new idea for whatever reason. Like they dropped the whole gimmick. A new idea to present this
Asian character. Come on, what? You don't think the cartoon has anything to do with her being Asian? They would do this same cartoon for anybody. Charlotte Flair would have a cartoon like this about her. Bullshit. What are you talking about?
Well, when
in the history of WWE, it was a different style cartoon though. The way they did it, it was like, whatever. It was a little weird, but I'm not that mad about it. But I don't think they're doing that if she's not Asian.
Let's see if this actually happens, too, as well. Because, 1 week she's something, next week she's something else. Let's see if they stick with it. And let's see if this actually happens and she doesn't get released.
Yeah. I mean, they got rid of Hit Row, right? I mean, they were pushing those guys. That was crazy. That the story of Hit Row is nuts. I mean, they really pushed them as a group in NXT. They bring them up to the main roster. They've got vignettes, and they debut them. And then a couple weeks into their debut, they release the lady that was with the team. And then a couple weeks after they release her, they just release the rest of the team. This new group that they seem to be pushing, they seem to want to do a lot of things with. They even put one of the guys on that A&E show where they were hunting for WWE memorabilia. They clearly like that guy, and now he's fired. A little bit surprised to see all of Hit Row get released.
They kind of mentioned the segment from last week a little bit with Jinder coming out. When Jinder and I think Shanky, they had that rap they kind of did. They made mention of that in commentary.
Did they? So did they mention?
They didn't say Hit Row, but they just mentioned that they did a rap, and that was it. It was pretty much it. They did that last week, and you should watch out for what they do or what they could say. That was pretty much all they said about it.
Yeah, why did they do a rap last week? I wonder. I guess Jinder's not feuding with those guys anymore. Because they're fired. They could fire anybody at this point. Like anybody.
I don't know about you, but to me, it seems like there was much more to this than what's been told so far. I think that a lot of things happened backstage. Like, it feels like there was problems with Hit Row that we don't know about yet. Because for them to just release one member and then suddenly, like, a week or two afterwards, everyone gets released, it sounds like there were some sort of issues. For them just to, like, give up on something that they just started, to me, that just smells like there was problems.
Or maybe they realized it just wasn't very good, and they're like, let's just cut the cord on this whole thing. Forget about it. Because when I watched it, I was like, I don't really like this. I don't like any of this. You know, I could not see this again on TV, and now I don't have to. You know, I mean, it could be that. It could be just as simple as that. Like, we're going to try it out, and if it doesn't work, it doesn't work, and maybe it just didn't work.
I really like they didn't give much of a chance to work or not. They didn't really do that much. It was just starting. Like, to say that it wasn't working, it's like you didn't really try hard enough. It feels like they had problems with it. I don't know what exactly, but something they didn't like, and they were trying to fix it around. They thought, oh, well, get rid of one member, maybe that'll work, and then it's still, for whatever reason, they didn't like it. So it's too bad. Like, so many guys lost their jobs.
It is too bad, but it seems to be happening more and more in the WWE. John Morrison got released.
Yeah, but Morrison's had a decent wrestling career, and like, regardless of like, that he got released, he still had some good moments. He won at WrestleMania, not this past WrestleMania, but the year prior. So like, he was tag team champion, I think, with Miz for a decent chunk. So like, he had his moments, and like, I feel like they opened Raw and SmackDown quite a few times, actually.
Yeah. He also got to wrestle Bad Bunny at this year's WrestleMania, so that was a pretty big deal. Bad Bunny's the best.
Yeah.
Probably best match of WrestleMania. Bad Bunny stole the show at WrestleMania.
Well,
best match.
The three-way was the best match.
I don't know. Bad Bunny was pretty good.
That.
Yeah, it was pretty good too, but that's because, Bryan Danielson, he's the best, so that makes sense. John Morrison, though, his wife just got released a couple of weeks ago, so I'm not really surprised that he gets released, but did they ever have the blow-off match with The Miz? Like, remember they broke up, and then they were supposed to have the match, but then Miz wasn't on Raw, and you're like, where's Miz? And it's like, oh, he's on Dancing with the Stars now. And then Miz goes on Dancing with the Stars. I think he just got voted off or whatever, however it works on that show. I think he's been cut from the show, so he's going to come back to TV and be like, oh, what happened to John Morrison? I guess, guess we're moving on from that. They never had the match. And again, another Miz sidekick. When you're done being the Miz's sidekick, you get fired. This is the third one now. At least, maybe fourth. Wasn't Curtis Axel his sidekick at one point?
I guess so. You could say Morrison was also his sidekick, the original sidekick in a sense too, as well. So
got fired, comes back, sidekick again, gets fired. Alex Riley fired. Damian Sandow fired. Do not become the sidekick to the Miz. Also, I mean, if you're in the WWE and your spot is Miz's sidekick, you're not in a great position. You're a sidekick to a guy who should just be a sidekick, Miz should just be a manager. I don't know why he wrestles. Should just be a manager. He's detestable, he can talk, and he's not great at wrestling. So, just manage. Miz should have been Morrison's sidekick, if anything, but hey, WWE's backwards. And Miz is still a WWE superstar, and Morrison is fired.
I mean, it's too bad, but I feel like he will find work, though. I don't think he'll have problems finding work. I think there's more than enough opportunities for him to get work. And I think he's actually more valuable because now it's like a package deal. You get him and his wife. So I think that's pretty good.
And they were both very successful in Impact Wrestling not too long ago. I would not be surprised to see them wind up there or even in AEW. I think they'd be great in AEW. Both of them.
Right? Yeah, I mean, whatever they want to do, or just do independent shows. I mean, they could just do that if they wanted to. I mean, it's kind of a bummer. Like, they had to like move, I think, from Los Angeles to Florida to be in NXT, and then they just canned his wife. Like that's really harsh when WWE like changes your life, and then they're just like, well, never mind.
That's what they
rough.
do. It's what they do. That's the WWE. That's what they do. It's what they've been doing over and over again. Over the past 18 months, they've released, I think, like 90-something wrestlers. It's what they do.
Well, everyone's in a different kind of situation, though. Not everyone's like asked to relocate or something like that. But
no, but I'm saying they've been releasing a lot of people, an unusual amount. Is it that they're setting up the company for a sale? Is that it? Is it that they lost so much revenue because they didn't sell tickets during the pandemic that, they're trying to recoup some losses by cutting talent? What's your gut feeling on this? Why are we seeing all these releases? Because it is unprecedented. It's not like we've seen this amount of releases before. This isn't usual for the WWE. Or is it just a matter of, hey, at one point we were signing everybody and anybody so they wouldn't go somewhere else. We were signing a lot of people so they wouldn't go to AEW because we didn't know what they were going to be. But now that we've seen what AEW is, now that we've released some people and they've gone to AEW, we realize it doesn't completely kill our business to have AEW around. It doesn't completely kill our business to have AEW have some of the stars that we let go. We can keep moving on and we're fine. So maybe they say, okay, well, you know what? We signed too many people to too many contracts, and now it's time to have a thinner roster because we just don't need all these people, because really we were putting these people under contract so that other companies wouldn't have them, which is what the WWE was doing. And that seemed pretty obvious that they weren't signing all these people to use them. They were signing a lot of people so that other companies just wouldn't be able to use them, so that they could remain the monopoly. But at this point, I think they've seen, like, well, we can release people, we can release stars. AEW can get Bryan Danielson and CM Punk, and we'll still be fine. And they are fine. They're making money, they're doing business, everything's fine. So I think that might be part of it with the WWE. They're just thinking, hey, we can let people go. It doesn't hurt. So if there's people that we're not too fond of, there's people that we really don't have any ideas creatively what to do with them going forward, forget it. Cut them loose. We don't need them. They could bring in new people all the time. Like, look at what they're doing with NXT. They could bring in new people that have never wrestled before, or repackage different people and just make brand new stars and a brand new brand and get rid of everybody and just start fresh. They're not afraid to do it. They're doing it with NXT. Eventually, some of those people will be ready to move up, and they'll bring them up, and then they'll release more seasoned veterans. They can do it. I think they're doing it because they can. I don't know if it's all some big plan for a sale. People keep saying that every time there's a new round of releases. Oh, it's for the sale. The sale's coming up. Oh, it's for, how many times are they going to cut people before they actually sell this thing? They're going to have to cut the whole roster before they wind up selling. If that's the plan, right? So I think it's a combination of things. I think it's a combination of, like Harold is saying.
Super chat.
Harold dropping a super chat. Thank you, Harold. Cut the dead weight. And I think that's what it is. I think a lot of it is we're going to cut the dead weight because we realize we don't need this much talent. We just don't. We don't need this many stars. A lot of people are sitting backstage and catering, doing absolutely nothing. We need to stop that. The WWE has a lot of people under contract that don't do jack shit. Why? There's no point. Cut them. I'm not saying that John Morrison is dead weight. I'm not saying Hit Row is dead weight. I like Tegan Nox. I'm disappointed they let her go. I thought she had something going. She's one of the very few just baby faces. You see her and you're like, she seems nice. She came off like a real baby face, But, for one reason or another, it didn't work for her in WWE. But it happens. And they have enough talent, they can let people go. They can let people go if they don't need them, right? That's where they're at. They can let a guy like Aleister Black go or Andrade go, and doesn't hurt. They're fine. They got other people.
Well, I really think it just goes to show that you really have to stand out, have something that makes you different compared to everyone else, that makes you valuable compared to everyone else. And I think it would also help that you don't have any issues or problems with certain people or storylines. You don't cause the company any grief. You don't give them a reason to cut you. I think that's what happened with Aleister Black.
Yeah, but unless you're like Charlotte Flair. Charlotte Flair, I think there are certain people in WWE that are untouchable, but that list is becoming shorter and shorter. I think the people that are truly untouchable in WWE, Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, Becky Lynch, Charlotte Flair, Sasha Banks, and that's about it. Anybody else could be fired at any moment. I mean, Big E's a WWE champion.
Orton.
Yeah, Randy. You're right, Randy. But anybody else? I think everybody else is expendable. There's like some golden people that are, untouchables. Charlotte, Sasha, Becky. As much as you may love Bianca or Rhea Ripley or whoever, push comes to shove, they'd get rid of them because they're not, made superstars. Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, Randy Orton. There's 3 men and 3 women that they cannot live without. Everybody else, they're just kind of interchangeable pieces, right?
Yeah, again, you could throw in Brock as well, but I mean, he's not really full-time, but, guys that they kind of need. Edge as well, I mean, there's a couple of key pieces that they have.
Those are extra.
He's important.
Edge and Brock are like extra
different.
bonus things that you bring in every once in a while. They're your attractions.
Right. I mean, it's a different kind of thing. They have different contracts more than likely, so it's not the same, but to have just the top tier in a sense, right? They have, and then just everyone else is on the other tier. So it's just going to make things more competitive in the sense where you really have to fight for your job.
Indeed. Or, don't fight for the job and hopefully get a contract with AEW and maybe do some fun stuff over there and be all right. Whatever.
It's not a guarantee at this point.
No, you can't. Not everybody can go to AEW. There's not room for everybody. Yeah. So more releases from the WWE. Ray Cruz says AJ Styles. I don't think AJ Styles is untouchable at this point. I think they could let AJ go. I wouldn't be surprised if they did let AJ go. I think he was, but at this point, he's been tagging with Omos. They've kind of downgraded him to this kind of Omos tag team guy. He's been doing it for so long that I think they feel now like AJ's in his 40s too. He's a little older, and I think that they see AJ as a guy that they want to keep around, but they're not going to make him a main eventer ever again. I don't think AJ Styles gets another run as WWE or Universal Champion. Unless,
Well, he's only got a year left, too, on his contract.
Oh, yeah? Well, there you go. There's another thing. And unless people drop out significantly, I see AJ Styles as a veteran in WWE now who's kind of helping younger guys get over, and, WWE sees those guys as expendable. As great as AJ Styles is, as great as we know he is, he's probably the best wrestler in the company. But I think the WWE would release him if they had to. They released Braun Strowman. They released Nia Jax. They're not afraid to release big stars that they've established. They're not. Bray Wyatt, right? If they could release Bray Wyatt, they could release AJ Styles. They ain't releasing Seth Rollins or Roman Reigns, though, right? Those guys, if Seth Rollins got released, it'd be like, holy shit, stop everything. It's not happening. It's not happening.
Well, again, some sort of problem or something happened. That's the only reason why that would ever happen.
Yeah. It would be way more shocking than when Dean Ambrose left, which was pretty shocking because he had a good spot. They weren't going to release him ever. That guy had a job for life with WWE.
Wasn't even really released. His contract just expired.
Well, that's it. That's what I'm saying. He left, But,
Yeah.
like, they wouldn't, like, he left, which was shocking because he's one of those guys that was golden for WWE, and they were going to keep him forever. They would never have released him. Although, they released Bray Wyatt, so I guess you never know. Apparently, Bray Wyatt was difficult to deal with creatively. I've heard Ambrose was as well. Well, Ambrose seems to say that he kind of was because he seemed to push back quite a bit. And from his end, it was WWE being... Hey, shout out Antoinette. You know, from Ambrose's or Moxley's perspective, it was WWE being, you know, unfair and... Oh, are those late or something?
Oh,
Those are just... I think those are just popping up now, but they're from earlier. Yeah, those are earlier. I don't know. There's some sort of glitch with YouTube. YouTube is like glitching out, sending the super chat information to our system, so it's showing up now. Harold is the super chat leader right now. Shout out to Harold. What the hell was I talking about? Those goddamn things got in my way, John.
Well, just about the releases, just how, like, Seth Rollins, like, you know, he's kind of untouchable.
Yeah. Well, no,
much it.
Ambrose was saying, you know, how he was, you know, kind of pushing back at WWE, and they were difficult for him. But really, if you see it from WWE's perspective, he was probably quite difficult for them to deal with. You know, and apparently Bray Wyatt had some issues creatively, kind of difficult, according to reports. WWE had problems dealing with him, so, you know, they let him go. Maybe they would have let Ambrose go, too. Who knows? Who knows? Anyways, we've got Survivor Series. It's coming up on Sunday. We're going to be on right after Survivor Series to recap the action. Let's preview Survivor Series. Let's give you some picks here. We've got the Team Raw versus Team SmackDown 5-on-5 men's Survivor Series elimination match. It'll be Seth Rollins, Finn Balor, Kevin Owens, Bobby Lashley, and Austin Theory representing Team Raw versus Team SmackDown of Drew McIntyre, Jeff Hardy, King Woods, Happy Corbin, and Sheamus. We've both already predicted Team SmackDown to win with Drew McIntyre as either the lone survivor or a co-survivor with King Woods and maybe some other people. I don't know if Drew is last. I think Drew and Woods make sense as the two last guys for the team. And then Team Raw, I guess Seth is... Maybe Seth's eliminated early or decides to bail on the team, eliminates himself type of thing. Because everybody else can take a fall. I could see Drew hitting a Claymore, eliminating Bobby Lashley. I think Bobby probably winds up as the last man on the team. I think Seth winds up quitting on the team. I don't think anybody actually beats Seth.
Sounds about right. History repeating itself in a sense. That happened last year, I believe, as well.
Oh, yeah? There you go. Seth's just a bad teammate. So I think Team SmackDown wins. Johnny does too. How about the women's side? I guess if the men's side has SmackDown, we assume the women's side will be Raw. Bianca Belair, Rhea Ripley, Liv Morgan, Carmella, and Queen Zelina Vega, representing Raw against Team SmackDown, Sasha Banks, Shayna, Shotzi, Natty, and Toni Storm. Oh, yeah, Team Raw is definitely winning. I could see most of the team remaining. Bianca Belair and Rhea Ripley for sure. Maybe even Liv Morgan, too. I could see like most of Team Raw remaining there. I think Liv, Rhea, Bianca, Carmella, and Zelina might get eliminated, but maybe not. Maybe nobody gets eliminated. But probably Carmella gets eliminated at least. But I think Liv, Rhea, and Bianca remain, and Team Raw wins easily.
Yeah, if not a sweep, maybe just one elimination, that's it.
And Shotzi and Sasha will probably cost each other in some way. Shotzi will wind up being the reason why Sasha's eliminated. Because Sasha shouldn't just lose clean.
Yeah, they might get themselves both counted out or something. See something like that go down.
Big E versus Roman Reigns. Interesting match. I think this one could go either way.
Well, I got Roman.
I think Roman is most likely. They don't like to have Roman lose anything ever. And because Big E stood tall at the end of the night here in his physical confrontation with Roman Reigns, I think Roman probably gets revenge and gets the win. some sort of screwy finish with the Usos interfering, Paul Heyman doing some stuff, and Roman Reigns cheating to win, beating Big E, probably choking him out with a guillotine. Big E won't tap, Big E won't be pinned, but Big E will be choked out. Or Heyman does some sort of screw job finish where he gets the ref to ring the bell or something like that.
I like the passing out. That makes a lot of sense. I think he did that last year to Drew as well. Yeah, that's probably what's going to happen.
Yep, seems about right. I think the match could be good. I'd like for Big E to win. I think he needs it way more than Roman does. But the WWE is hell-bent on making Roman Superman. So, even as a heel, he's like untouchable.
Well, whoever beats him, that's going to be a huge push.
Big E should beat him. Like, if they're trying to push Big E and actually make him, like, they're not making anybody right now. They're not making Big E. You don't make a guy by beating guys that aren't made themselves. Who has Big E beat? Bobby Lashley and Drew McIntyre? Two guys that have been mid-carders for most of their career. Most of their career has been spent as a mid-card. And, John, I think we talked about this maybe when we weren't doing the show at some point. I think you should be a main eventer longer than you have been a mid-carder to be respected as a main eventer. And Bobby Lashley has been a mid-carder way longer than he's been a main eventer. Same for Drew McIntyre, and same for Big E. Not Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns has been a main eventer his whole career. So, Big E, by beating Drew or by beating Bobby, it doesn't do much for him. Because those guys aren't made. They're not legit main eventers. You can't make a star of guys that aren't really stars themselves. And you can't bring in some old guy every once in a while to have him try to make the guys. Like Goldberg. That doesn't work either. But if Big E can beat a guy like Roman Reigns in a non-title match, in a match where Roman doesn't ever have to face Big E again. Big E's on Raw, Roman's on SmackDown. Big E is looked at as the B champion. Raw is looked at as the B show. This match seems like a foregone conclusion that Roman Reigns will win. Roman Reigns loses nothing but, the match if he loses. Doesn't lose his Universal title, just loses the bragging rights. And I think that would be an interesting wrinkle to Roman Reigns' career, having to deal with a loss on a big stage. Roman hasn't really had to deal with a loss. Roman Reigns could look somewhat vulnerable. Make him look somewhat beatable to a guy like maybe Xavier Woods on that day one pay-per-view for the Universal title. I think it would help Big E a tremendous amount to beat Roman Reigns. Obviously, it would make him look like, oh, maybe he's the A guy. Even though we know he's not. We know that Big E isn't the A guy. We know that Roman Reigns is the guy in the WWE. He's the main thing. He's what the whole show revolves around. He's going to main event night 2 of WrestleMania. It won't be the WWE Championship. It'll be Roman and his Universal title because he's more important. We know Roman's more important. We get that. So why not have Big E beat him? To put Big E on a level close to Roman. Because if he loses here again, then he goes back to Raw a loser. And isn't really elevated into the main event. He just happened to be the guy who won Money in the Bank, who cashed in, who won the title, who beat a couple of guys, and this will be his run. This will be his shining moment in his career. Then it's back to tag team championships with a New Day. Or you could have him beat Roman, elevate him, and actually make a new main event star, which is, I think, what you should be doing. So I think Big E should win, but I have no faith in the WWE to make that happen. Biggie needs it more than Roman.
Well, I felt like before they even announced this match, I'm like, I didn't want them to have this match. I wanted them to do something else, like defend their titles or something, because this didn't help Biggie, in my opinion. Like, he just won the WWE Championship. He doesn't need to take a loss on pay-per-view now. But they love doing this champion versus champion matches, Survivor Series. So this is what happens. And I think their thinking going into this is that it's good for Big E just to have the match. That's just good enough for him just to have that. So as much as I'm sure you want to see Big E win, and I'm sure a lot of fans want to see him win, it's just him getting this opportunity just to wrestle Roman is his victory.
Some victory.
I'm not saying you agree with it. Again, I don't think they should have had this match, period, but this is the way they're doing it. So
why not put Big E over then? Don't you think they should?
It's Roman. It's the tough part, though. Like, Roman, they've invested so much in him. Like, it's his era, pretty much. Like, whoever beats him on pay-per-view, like, that's going to be a big thing. So they're saving that.
Maybe. I don't know. I think Big E could win. I think he should, but I don't think he will. I think it would be real interesting. Like, imagine Roman loses to Big E, but the Usos win their match against Randy Orton and Riddle. But it'll probably be the other way around. It'll probably be Roman beating Big E, and then the Usos losing their match to Randy and Riddle, taking RKOs, and then Roman will come on SmackDown next week, and he'll be disappointed in the Usos once again. Right? That's what's going to happen.
Well, I do have the Usos losing, but because I had it equal out, I still have it going to be pretty much tied, depending on if the Battle Royal makes the pay-per-view or not. I currently have it tied. So, yeah, the Usos have to lose for that to work for me.
Okay. The SmackDown versus Raw point tally. You're looking at that, are you? I see. So, yeah, I think the Usos lose. How about Damian Priest versus Shinsuke Nakamura? The U.S. champion Damian Priest from Raw, Shinsuke the Intercontinental champion from SmackDown. Shinsuke wrestled tonight against Humberto Carrillo and got a win there. Haven't seen Damian Priest in a couple of weeks on Raw since he had that excellent match with T-Bar. He's disappeared. Apparently he's going to wrestle at Survivor Series, but I don't know. Haven't seen him in a while. But it'll be Priest versus Shinsuke. So I guess you're going with Priest or Shinsuke? I lost track of your point tally.
Okay. Well, I'm going with RK Bro, right? So that's Raw.
Yeah.
So I'm going with SmackDown this one, which would be Nakamura.
Okay. I don't know about
I was a little thrown off. Yeah, I know. I was a little thrown off because, like, Nakamura won tonight. So it's like, well, if he won tonight, that means he's probably going to lose the pay-per-view. But it's like you said, like, Priest, we haven't really seen much of him whatsoever. So I'm thinking he might be hurt or something. So that might not be much of anything this match.
It might not even happen.
Who knows? And the big thing that I take off this, like, they're pushing, like, Rick Boogs like crazy. Like, he's getting pushed better than Nakamura. But because he's with Nakamura, I think the advantage is with Nakamura.
I guess. I think they're pushing Damian Priest pretty good on Raw, though. At least they should be. Although I say that, and he hasn't been on the show in a couple of weeks. Damian Priest is really good, and I feel like they're doing more with him than they are with Nakamura, but because Nakamura is just kind of nothing. He's basically Rick Boog's sidekick, but Nakamura is the Intercontinental Champion. I think you're probably right, though. I think Nakamura wins. I don't know if this match really does happen. How about Becky Lynch versus Charlotte Flair? This is the main event. This should close the show. It probably won't. Probably be Roman because, you know, it's all about Roman.
Right.
But, I mean, right. Becky, Charlotte, this is the main event. This is the real main event. This should close the show, right?
If they would have pushed it better, but they didn't push it enough. Like, they just kind of hinted like, oh, well, there's stuff going on. And, like, there was a nice video package, but it really didn't get to the heart of the matter. Like the true beef. And they could have really shown that interview that Becky did talking about the whole beef, but they didn't. They chose just to do the little segments they did and do the whole uh-oh thing. And that's fine. They'll get a nice reaction during the match, but again, that's not the true heart of this feud, and they're not really pushing that. Really, it's something that just happened. They weren't planning it, so I don't think it's the main event. Although I think a lot of people will be excited for this. I actually have low expectations for this. I don't think it's going to be that good. I think there's so much people are expecting so much from it. I don't think it's going to be able to deliver what people are expecting.
I'm not so much looking forward to it because of what the match will be as far as match quality. I'm looking forward to this match to see how they figure out a finish, because I think they've done a really good job in selling the idea that Charlotte and Becky are both too proud to lose to the other. I don't see Charlotte or Becky wanting to lose this match and to just go down 1, 2, 3 in the middle of the ring. I don't see either of them wanting to do the job here. And I think they've done a really good job in selling the rivalry, and maybe not on WWE TV, but Charlotte and Becky themselves, the things that have been written and said around this whole rivalry, the title exchange segment that happened on SmackDown that went wrong, Charlotte apparently getting escorted out of the building. WWE's not telling you this. You're reading this in the dirt sheets, right? But it adds to the intrigue of the match. It adds to the interest of the fans. And I think that's why it's the most anticipated match in Survivor Series, because you want to see this match between two people who you believe really don't like each other and really don't want to lose this predetermined wrestling match. And I don't feel that in any other match on this card. I don't feel that there is real heat between any two wrestlers on this card like there is between Charlotte and Becky. The only match where it feels like the two people involved truly don't like each other and truly don't want to lose to the other is this Charlotte and Becky match. I don't think Biggie gives a shit to lose to Roman Reigns. Would he like to beat him? Probably, because he knows what that means for his career. But I think he's fully down with the program to lose to him, and it's fine. And he probably thinks it's an honor to even wrestle him on pay-per-view because he likes him and he thinks he's great and he's the man, and yeah. So I don't think there's any of that heat. I think Roman thinks Big E is cool and they're friends and it's fine. You know, they may fight each other on TV, but I don't believe it for a second. They're keeping Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair away from each other. We haven't seen them in the same ring since that contract or the belt exchange went wrong and Becky went to Raw, Charlotte stayed on SmackDown. Haven't seen them. Haven't seen much of them. And you're not seeing them face-to-face. You're not seeing them near each other. They're going to have to be in the same ring working a wrestling match. They're going to have to be in the same building setting up this match on Sunday. I don't think Damian Priest and Shinsuke Nakamura are enemies, you know? I don't think they have real heat. I don't think the Raw and SmackDown teams give a shit at all. I mean, they want to have a good match, but you know.
Everyone, it's Santa!
Shout out Doug Hepburn, dropping a super chat. Thanks again, guys. Hardest working guy in wrestling is you, Dave. Thank you. I mean, I wouldn't say that. I'd say it's Bryan Danielson because he's actually taking the bumps and he's doing it on a regular basis. Not like that sucker Hangman Page who's scared to wrestle. Bryan Danielson celebrates WrestleMania victories by wrestling the next night. Hangman Page wins the title. And what's he do? Sitting around with the Dark Order doing jack shit, cutting promos. Fucking lazy, Hangman. Lazy cowboy. Not like that workhorse Bryan Danielson. I am not the hardest working guy in wrestling. It is Bryan Danielson. And it's certainly not that lazy-ass cowboy Hangman, who I love so much, but I like to make fun of because fuck that guy. He should lose to Bryan Danielson. Bryan Danielson is the best. Anyways. Becky and Charlotte, I'm really looking forward to it. Who wins? Who wins? I think Becky.
Well, because of my score, it has to be Becky. But I am very
Ah.
fearful that this could end up with a no contest. Out of all the matches, I could see this easily being some sort of draw, and that would probably be the worst case because I could see fans being very upset with that. However, this has happened before with Becky and Charlotte matches. They just have no finish whatsoever or not a clean finish. So I expect the ending will be controversial in some capacity. And I pray that we actually get some sort of finish where you get a winner. I worry that they won't do that.
I don't think we get a finish because I don't think either of them wants to do the job, and the WWE is going to say fine, which is like the easy way out, but probably the best way to move on without upsetting one of your top stars. Because if you tell Charlotte you got to lose to Becky, she'll probably be pissed. If you tell Becky you got to lose to Charlotte, she's probably pissed, and you don't want to make either of them pissed. Because like I said before, they're two of the 6 wrestlers that you absolutely cannot do without, that you cannot release at all. Because if they left, it would be goddamn catastrophic to your company. If the WWE lost Becky Lynch or Charlotte Flair or Roman Reigns or Seth Rollins or Randy Orton or Sasha Banks, it would be devastating. Because they would go over to AEW and make a huge impact. And, AEW would have room for fucking Becky Lynch. You know what I mean? If Charlotte gets real pissed off and decides to leave, she could go to AEW and be a massive success over there and help that company tremendously. So, Charlotte and Becky are 2 people you don't want to piss off. So, if you're trying to keep both people happy, no finish. No finish. Which would mean, John, that SmackDown would win. Because we have the SmackDown men's team winning. Sorry. We have the SmackDown men's team winning. We have Roman Reigns winning. And we have Shinsuke winning. So that's 3 wins for SmackDown. Whereas we have RK Bro over the Usos for Raw. And the women's Raw team winning as well in the Survivor Series match. So that would be a win for SmackDown unless it would be 3-2 for SmackDown unless they count this 25-man dual-branded The Rock Dwayne Johnson Battle Royal.
Right.
And then the winner of that Battle Royal would probably be from Raw, which would even it up. We'd have 3 wins for Raw, 3 wins for SmackDown, and 1 no contest with Charlotte and Becky. So probably, yeah. Sounds about right.
Well,
are we just agreeing on all these matches here, John? We don't disagree on anything.
We'll see on maybe on the Battle Royal because I got Raw on that one.
Me too.
I feel like okay, well I guess we agree. I feel like the ending with this
to even it out for the math to work out, it's got to be Raw.
Well, we'll see what happens. Because I also feel this could be on the pre-show. They might not count this whatsoever, but just for the sake of the argument here, I'm just going to say Raw. And I feel like the ending would be. I could see something like Finn Balor win because you're going to have it. It looks like Sami Zayn's going to win, but I think he's going to get screwed over, kind of thing. And I think someone like Finn would win from Raw.
Makes sense. Finn, isn't Finn on a team though? No, he's on Team Raw.
Is he on the? Yeah, he's on Team Raw, so that won't work. But someone like Finn.
Okay, but who's like Finn? Now, here's the thing. They have 2 10-man tag team matches. No, I'm sorry. They have 1 10-man tag team match, but that's 10 guys, right? 10 of their top guys. Mm-hmm. They have, their WWE champion, their Universal champion, they're both sets of tag team champions, Intercontinental champion, U.S. champion, all working. They have a lot of their guys working. And they're firing everybody. Who's left? They got to fill this with 25 guys. They got Sami Zayn. I guess you could put Madcap Moss and Ridge Holland in the mix.
Right.
That's 3 guys. Who else is on Raw and SmackDown?
For SmackDown, just SmackDown alone here, you got Cesaro.
Oh, yeah.
You got Jinder Mahal.
Yeah.
You got Shanky. You got the Viking Raiders.
Wait, wasn't there another guy in that match? It was Jinder, Cesaro and the four-way tonight.
Sheamus.
Ricochet. He could be in the Battle Royal, too.
Ricochet, too, yeah.
Yeah. Sheamus is on the Survivor Series team. I'm just saying, Cesaro,
Right.
Ricochet, and Jinder, they lost tonight. They're not at Survivor Series, so they could be in this Battle Royal. Sami Zayn, that's 4 guys. Madcap Moss, Ridge Holland, that's like 6 guys. All right, we're getting there, I guess. Humberto and Angel Garza, there's 8. Rick Boogs, there's 9. All right, I guess we could do it, but it's a pretty shitty Battle Royal. And Raw, fewer guys to choose from, too. I don't know. They don't have the deepest roster these days. Maybe AJ Styles and Omos. Maybe Omos will be in this Battle Royal.
Because 25 men, like, it feels like Raw would be able to do that. SmackDown would be kind of a struggle as we just kind of put that together. So I feel like it would be clearly more people from Raw will be in this match than SmackDown.
Probably. Although I can't think of anybody that's on Raw right now that's not booked for this pay-per-view.
Well, Rey Mysterio, Dominic Mysterio.
Yeah. Those
Street
guys.
Profits.
Oh, yeah. All right, I guess there's a few. The Dirty Dogs. Don't forget about the Dirty Dogs. Dolph Ziggler and Robert Roode. They're not booked. They'll be in the Battle Royal for sure. So the 25-man Dwayne, The Rock, Dwayne Johnson, 25 Rock Battle Royal. Will The Rock show up? Will The Rock be at Survivor Series? It's in Brooklyn. I do not think that he will be. Maybe an appearance. I think that'd be great. Imagine if The Rock's in this Battle Royal and wins. I think that would be awesome. But I just, I don't think so.
Well,
a lot of people
not
think
like a Rumble.
That's it. A lot of people think
Battle Royal.
Yeah, that's it. So he would have to be in there from the beginning, which is not happening.
No.
I think The Rock, a lot of people talking about The Rock's 25th anniversary of his debut. I don't know if he actually shows up. It's possible he makes an appearance in New York. He may do something with Roman Reigns, like after Roman beats Big E, maybe The Rock shows up at the end of the night and hits a rock bottom and sets something up for WrestleMania in 2023. I don't think it's going to be in 2022. I think The Rock will be at the WrestleMania Hollywood in Inglewood, California, coming up in 2023. They're going to be in Los Angeles in 2023, and most people are saying that that's when The Rock will wrestle Roman Reigns. So maybe The Rock shows up on Sunday, starts a thing with Roman, hits a rock bottom, just stares at him, whatever, planting seeds for a match in a year and a half. It's possible. I don't think it's impossible. It's New York. Why couldn't The Rock make an appearance?
I think people would just be like expecting, like, well, if that happened at Survivor Series this year, you need next year's WrestleMania to have the match. If you have to wait a whole other year for it, I think people would be upset.
What if The Rock cuts a promo and tells you that it's going to happen next year in 2023? Like, what if The Rock shows up at some point and he's like, we will have the match, and it will be in Hollywood, California in 2023, jabroni? Like, remember when he did that after WrestleMania? And he's like, when he was like the enforcer there with Cena and Miz, and then he came out the next night and he's like, next year I'm going to wrestle for the, or was it that one where he said, or no, it was after he wrestled Cena, he said he was going to come back and wrestle for the WWE title next year at WrestleMania. Wasn't that the deal? He announced one like a year in advance.
Stone, that would be Cena.
Yeah.
He just said, like, I'll be there for the WWE Championship.
Right.
Maybe I'll see you there kind of thing.
Yeah, that's it.
It ended up happening.
Yeah, it did wind up happening because he walked in as champion, actually, by beating CM Punk at the Rumble. Right? But The Rock beat Cena at WrestleMania. Next night on Raw, he comes out and he says, I will be back in a year, and I will wrestle for the WWE Championship at WrestleMania. So the whole year, The Rock is going to be in the WWE title match against whoever is the champion. And then it turned out that he came back a little early, took the title from Punk, and then defended the title against Cena, lost the title to Cena in the rematch. Right?
And there was no third match.
No. Well, you didn't need a third match. I think you were good there. Those matches were not great. Once in a lifetime turned into twice in a lifetime. I don't think you need to do once in a lifetime, thrice in a lifetime. I think that's enough. It's enough for me. But I could see The Rock doing that, showing up for Roman, getting in Roman's face, and then saying, April 2023, I'll see you there, Roman Reigns.
I mean, if they can get The Rock, I mean, you make the use of what you got kind of thing, but wow, that's a long wait.
Yeah, but you want to do a long story. You want to promote it. You want to draw it out. You want to get people talking. It's not the worst thing you can do. It's really not. It's the match that everybody figures is inevitable. So why not announce it and say, yeah, we're doing it. You're just going to have to wait a year and a half. I mean, we know it's going to happen, so why not announce it? Why wait till, January 2023 to be like, yeah, it's Rock versus Roman at WrestleMania, if we're sitting here in November of 2021 predicting the WrestleMania main event for April 2023, can't the WWE come out and just say it?
I mean, if they're confident with that and they want to do that, sure. I mean, it'll get people talking, but, it's like, well, what's happening this year? This year's like just a throwaway?
Yeah.
It's going to feel like that.
It is. It is.
Well, that's too bad.
Who cares?
You should care.
No. Drew McIntyre versus Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar. That's a throwaway WrestleMania main event. Who cares? I don't need that. Survivor Series. It's one of the big four. It's going down on Sunday. We will be here after Survivor Series to recap everything that happens at the series of surviving. I've attended 2 Survivor Series, John. One was in 1997 where I saw my boyhood hero get screwed by the evil McMahon family, which was
right,
sad because I was still young enough to go to the pay-per-view and have to be accompanied by my mom. I was a kid. I was in elementary school in 1997. I was like, 11, 12 maybe? I think I just turned 12, in 97. So I was a kid. I saw my hero get screwed. I just turned 12. Thanks a lot, WWF. Anyways, that was the first Survivor Series I attended. And then I was at 2008, I think. I think it was 2008.
It was in Boston, right?
Yeah. And that was all right. I saw John Cena in Boston beat Chris Jericho for the World Heavyweight Championship. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And I saw The Undertaker and Big Show in a casket match, which was awesome. Survivor Series teams that year was Team HBK versus Team JBL. It was Great Khali, JTG, Rey Mysterio, Shad Gaspard, and Shawn Michaels beating Team JBL of JBL, John Morrison, Kane, The Miz, and MVP. We also had Team Raw, a women's match. Beth Phoenix, Candice Michelle, Jillian Hall, Kelly Kelly, and Mickie James with Santino in their corner, beating Team SmackDown, which was Maria, Maurice, Michelle McCool, Natalia, and Victoria. Natty, still going strong. On Team SmackDown in 2008, on Team SmackDown in 2021.
It's pretty good.
That's pretty damn good. That's impressive. That is impressive. Natty Neidhart, good God.
What a team again, though.
Yeah, but still, legend. I mean, come on. Who cares? Team SmackDown 2008, Team SmackDown 2021. Natty Neidhart. Gotta love her. Randy Orton had his own team. Team Orton, Cody Rhodes, Randy Orton, Mark Henry, Shelton Benjamin, and William Regal beat Team Batista, which was Batista, CM Punk, Kofi Kingston, Matt Hardy, and R-Truth. Wow. And Edge beat Vladimir Kozlov and Triple H in a triple threat match to win the WWE Championship, which was pretty awesome. I do remember that. And then John Cena beating Chris Jericho to become the new World Heavyweight Champion in the main event. That was Survivor Series 2008. A lot of these wrestlers are still going. A lot of them are not. Some of them are dead.
Yeah, it's kind of sad.
Yeah, rest in peace, Shad Gaspard. I think he's the only one that's dead that I mentioned.
With the women's one, who's in that again?
Everybody's alive. Maria, Maurice, Michelle McCool, Natty, Victoria. They're all alive. Jillian Hall,
Okay.
Candice Michelle, Beth Phoenix, Kelly, Mickey James. Last I checked, Beth Phoenix was still alive. I saw her on NXT. I think she's all right.
I thought
think
you
we
may have
would've-
said Ashley Mazzaro.
No, she's not on this. I'm pretty sure we would have heard something if Beth Phoenix died. Beth Phoenix is still alive, right, John? You're scaring me here. Is Beth Phoenix still alive, John? I need to know. She is. I saw her on NXT. Right? Poor Edge.
I'll take your word for it. I didn't watch NXT, so I'll take your
No,
word
me
for
neither.
it.
But I know she's alive. If she would have died, we definitely would have heard about it and would be talking about her because she's awesome and we love Beth Phoenix. I'm just kidding around because you said somebody was dead on this team and I was like, huh? I know it's not Kelly. I know it's not Michelle, although she is married to the dead man. I think that's what you're confused by. She's married to the dead man. She's not dead. That's right. All right.
Well, it's sad though. You know, so many deaths in wrestling. Sad.
It is. It is sad when people die.
Well, especially in wrestling, it happens too much.
It does. Especially when The Undertaker has to say, rest in peace.
He had a good run. I'm kind of glad it's over now, to be honest.
Oh, it's never over. What are you talking about? WrestleMania, baby. We need him. One more match. One more match.
I think just an appearance, to be honest. I don't think a match, just an appearance.
All right. That's it. That's all. Thank you. We love you. Doug Hepburn, you're the super chat leader. What? Doug
What's
Doug Hepburn, who's the super chat leader, just dropped a comment that made me very sad. He says, apparently Flair said Hogan is in very poor health. Not Terry. Not Terry. I couldn't handle that. You want to see me cry, Hulk Hogan? If Hulk Hogan dies, I won't be able to take that. I won't be able to take that. That'll be hard. I hope Hogan's okay. We love you, Hulk Hogan. I don't give a shit what anybody says about Big Terry. I love Hulk Hogan. He's the reason most of us are here talking about pro wrestling. Let's not fuck around. Come on.
I'm sure you want me to say something nice for Hogan, but
No, I know you won't. Whatever. It's fine. Ray Cruz says Roman Reigns was on Jimmy Fallon last night and he said he wanted to face The Rock. Yeah, I saw that, but he wants to face The Rock. I don't know. I saw the interview, and Jimmy Fallon's like, "Hey, how about The Rock? Maybe you guys should wrestle each other." And Roman's like, "Yeah, well, it'd be great, and I'd welcome that. And I'm sure we have differences. And what better way to settle those differences than in the squared circle?" And then the crowd laughed at Roman when he said that. What better way to settle our differences than in the squared circle? Crowd goes, "Ah, ha, 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 ha. Yeah, stupid bullshit." That's what they're thinking about Roman. They're just laughing at him.
sounds like it was a bad interview.
It was bad. It was bad. I was not happy with it. Roman was, smiling Roman, nice guy Roman, not head of the table, not tribal chief, not the guy you see on SmackDown. So if you're tuning in to the Tonight Show and see this nice Roman Reigns fellow, you think, oh, maybe I'll watch him on SmackDown, see what his show's about. Then you see him and he's playing this role of this mean guy, and you're like, oh, he's just playing a role. That's just an act. I saw him on Jimmy Fallon. He's actually very nice and funny and smiles a lot. He's not really a dick. That's just a stupid role on this stupid show. SmackDown, whatever this is. I'm not going to watch this. This is dumb. He's breaking a crown. That's stupid. Who cares about that? Right?
It was a bummer that the crown wasn't better. Like, I don't know why you have a cardboard crown. I mean, I think WWE could afford something better than that, but oh well.
And that's the crown they gave to Woods. It's a terrible crown. Terrible crown. Yeah, and Woods was just devastated that all his shit got broken tonight. So stupid. But when Roman Reigns appears on those shows and he's out of character and he's all nice and he's smiling, it doesn't do much for the WWE. I don't know how many people are going to tune into Survivor Series because they saw Roman Reigns on the Tonight Show. I don't know if he got any extra viewers.
Oh, he just got more cred that he was, he did that. That's it. It helps him.
Yeah, but, it's the WWE sending him as their representative because that's what they do. I doubt it's the Tonight Show requesting Roman Reigns. I think it's WWE, and Peacock and NBC saying, hey, we got Survivor Series coming up. Can we send somebody to promote? And NBC says, yeah, sure. Who are you going to send? Oh, we're going to send Roman Reigns. He's great. You're going to love him. That's how it works. Shout out to Antoinette for dropping a super chat. Shout out to Harold Schneider dropping a super chat as well. And Doug Hepburn, you are the super chat leader of the night. Appreciate you, my man. Yeah, I hope Hogan's all right. I love Hogan. Shout out to everybody watching. Shout out to our friends Jofo in the ring. Our friend Jeremy Prophet and all his guys over there, the whole crew over at the Jofo in the ring. Shout out to those guys checking us out here tonight. And shout out to you, Johnny North. You are the man. And we will be back here Sunday night after Survivor Series reviewing the final pay-per-view of 2021 for the WWE. Last one, John. One more. One more this year. And then several more next year. So get ready for that.
It's been a long year.
Better than last year, though, right? Last year was bad. This year's been better.
It started off kind of crummy. It got better as it went on.
Yeah. Come on, man. You got vaccinated this year. Everything. You started wrestling again. You didn't get to wrestle at all last year. You got to wrestle this year. And I think you're going to wrestle again, December 10th?
Well, we'll wait and see. I mean, it seems possible, but we'll see what happens next week.
What's happening next week?
Well, tickets would actually go on sale for this show that might happen.
I thought the show was happening. I saw a thing that said the show was happening. You have other information?
Once tickets go on sale, then yeah, we'll say it's a good to go.
Well, I'm seeing a picture of Hulk Hogan right now from his Instagram. And he looks great. He says, back to my 9th grade weight, 275 pounds, brother. Looks great. Looks fine. God bless Hulk Hogan. 275 pounds in 9th grade. What the hell? What a monster.
Big guy.
That's right, brother. And he's back to 275. Lean and mean and ready for another run. So, I think Terry's all right. All right, guys. We'll see you after Survivor Series. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Appreciate you. Doug Hepburn, you're the Super Chat leader of the night. Thank you. And don't forget to become a member of the team. Join.ringsidereport.net. Go to donate.ringsidereport.net as well to support the Ringside Report Network.